Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, you guys. So, it's good to be back. I think, I can't remember the last time I did a video. It was a few days ago. I think I was in Campbell River. And so it's just really good to be back and sharing with you guys again. And lots has happened. Life has, you know, been living me. It's a constant. Uh, I don't want to call it a struggle, but a constant opportunity for me to be aware of how um, my ego can come in and try to run the show. And I don't say ego as if it's a bad thing, uh, it, because I mean, ego just didn't know. Ego doesn't know that it's not needed. Uh, and I look back at my life, and I think of, you know, the conversations come up a bit in the last few days because I've been with family, and my kids were, you know, talking to me about, my experience. I have a granddaughter who's 14, and, at 14 I was a full-blown alcoholic. I into, drugs and alcohol, and at 14, at 15, I was on the street in Toronto, and panhandling, of course, I thought I was on an adventure, but so there was no way that 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 I could have known in a way that that life was absolutely safe, in a way that life always was looking after me. And we kind of mix it up a lot too, because when we bring in the whole idea of God and spirituality, and it has this mystical thing, and having been brought up in somewhat of a Christian home, I had this idea of terrible unworthiness, uh, because of some of the things that I thought or did. you know my conditioning was that if I had those thoughts or if I did those deeds, I was certainly um, not worthy in God's eyes, and that was all bullshit, right? And so I had this huge distance from this idea of a creator or universal intelligence or consciousness, because I felt that there's no way that I deserved that relationship, and it took. And if I'm anything, I'm proof that anybody, can have access to this moment. It isn't, and this moment is where the power is. This moment is, Eckhart Tolle speaks about it, and my friend Paul Lowe over and over again shared it with me. And if I'm anything, I'm proof that that the ego can hold on and try to run the show desperately for, lifetimes, but I'm also proof that if we stick with it, we can discover who we are. All the teachers talk of self-realization, right? And what is self-realization? We realize that we are one with this moment. We are this. We are life. We don't live life. We are life. And life lives us, if you will. And when I'm living life, I'm trying to run the show. And there's a lot of conditioning, huge conditioning, to tell us that that's the way to go. That we have to plan everything. We have to have our goals set. We have to. And I was talking to my son Regan the other day, and we were talking about Michael Singer. If you've ever read Michael Singer's books, and in his story of really literally living in a yes, following the thread, and which he did. And his story of doing that, look up Michael Singer and read some of his stuff. So if 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 you know that uh, that there's a better way to live, if you will. And I don't even want to call it a better way to live, but if you get that something's missing, if you're living in stress, if you're trying to build a safe container, if you will, by having all of your little things lined up. We kind of build our little prisons that we live in them, where we think we're safe, and we cut ourselves off from people. I've seen it a lot, and where we isolate and we sit in front of the TV and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're living like that, or you're living in stress, if you're feeling stress, I mean, if you're taking anxiety medication, that's stress, and there is a way to live. There really is a way to live moment to moment with a yes. And that's my message over and over and over again. Living moment to moment. And we awaken to who we truly are. There's no separation. We are one with this. And the only separation is when we try to run the show, when we think that we're the boss. And conditioning tells us that, and how's that working? How's that working? Not. So, be here now and we move into our natural self. That was a big piece for me at Hawkins, it was several years ago, and I was really studying the book Letting Go with Hawkins, because I just knew that the answers were there. And Hawkins said, as we surrender our the lower realms of guilt and shame and fear, we begin to surrender them as they come, moment to moment. When we let go of fear, the 12 steps shows us how to let go of fear, and how to let go of guilt and shame and resentment. As we let these things go, we move into our natural state, happy, joyous, and free. And that's our natural state. That's not something that we have to work into and earn. We are that. And then we come to trust. We have what Bill in the 12 steps called the God consciousness. But God consciousness really is being present in the moment and living in intuition. And it's all there for us. It really is. It's simple. It's so damn simple. So that's my message every day, and that you can have that freedom. And it seems scary. It's like, oh my God, if I'm not running the show, who'll be running the show? Just relax. It doesn't mean the bills don't get paid, or it doesn't mean that you don't go to work. It just means that you're there, And if work is really a huge compromise, maybe that's not where you need to be, right? Or if certain relationships a huge compromise, you're there out of fear. Maybe that just moves away, and as we become more present in each moment, as we live in gratitude, as we live, with a yes, those circumstances in our lives start to change on their own, and we trust, we're there in love. So it's possible. It's not only possible, it's our natural selves. So, okay. So I've been reading from this little book because I love it, and my game, if you will, is to support as many of my friends and people that I know in awakening. And awakening is not some mystical thing. It's like we realize, we self-realize, we recognize who we really are. And it's beautiful. So I'm going to read from Lao-tzu's the Tao Te Ching, and this is a Stephen Mitchell's translation. It's beautiful. I'm on chapter 39, which, by the way, is only 3 paragraphs. So hang with me. And I've been doing this for a while. Well, I'm on chapter 39, so I've read 38 chapters. If you want to just listen to these, they're on YouTube. I've got them on my channel on YouTube. Go back; they're easy to access there. Find my link, and it's a Valley and Beyond, Project Awakening on YouTube, and listen to these, because these are great. This is this man, Lao-tzu, telling us what I'm telling you right now, is that there is freedom. We can have freedom, absolute freedom, and freedom from fear, freedom from judgment, freedom from complaint. Freedom to be our natural selves. It's beautiful. Okay, here we go. 39. He says, in harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious. The earth is solid and full. All creatures flourish together, content with the way that they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewing. So with the Tao is the moment. We're in tune with this moment, with love. This is how life unfolds. When man interferes, and I think what he's talking about is ego, when man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy. The earth becomes depleted. The equilibrium crumbles. Creatures become extinct. So that's, what happens. Thank God many of us are waking up, and we're recognizing that, probably the most amazing thing that can happen in this life is to wake up to who we really are. Then he says, the master views the parts with compassion because he understands the whole. His constant practice is humility. He doesn't glitter like a jewel, but he lets himself be shaped by the Tao, as rugged and common as a stone. Beautiful. So, it's just, by the way, Stephen Mitchell at the back of the book did a little synopsis on each chapter. So what did he write on chapter 39? He wrote, lets himself be shaped by the Tao. As a piece of marble lets itself be shaped by the sculptor, so that the statue inside can be revealed. Hammer and chisel are necessary agents. Ouch. Anyway, I get it. So sometimes it letting go it can be a little painful, but just trust that as we're letting go, what are we letting go of? We're letting go of fear. We're letting go of trying to manage, Okay, you guys, love you so much. If you go to my YouTube channel, I'd love it if you subscribe, and having some fun there, and that's it. This is the deal. Isn't life beautiful? I have such a beautiful yard, and my garden's growing. I need to weed it. I'm going to. This couple of days, I'm back only for a few days, and then I'm on the road for the rest of the summer. But I'm sure I'll get in front of the online and continue with the readings. Okay, love you. Love it if you make a comment, if you have a question, or if you can, if you're ready, to surrender, talk about it. You're not surrendering to anybody, just to the moment and to love. So we'll talk about it. Okay, love you guys so much. Cheers, thanks.